All right, hi everyone. How's it going? One more time, we're going to drop in the chat box a little introduction of who I am, just in case you joined in there now. And I'm going to shout out Rory. Thanks, Rory, for the help me set up there. Appreciate it. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen, and I'll walk you through presentation, and then any questions, fire them in, and I'll come back to the chat box in about 5 to 10 minutes time, and we can talk at the end. Definitely happy to answer as much questions and be as helpful as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to go through this here. Now, all right, so I'm going to trust that it's working because we tested it a second ago. So let's get into it. So yes, DCU actuarial maths or actuarial and financial maths. Which one is for you? What's the difference? Let's talk through it, okay? So, first of all, whether you choose actuarial maths or financial and actuarial maths in years 1 and 2, you can do the switch after the first 2 years. So it's not the end of the world which one you pick. The benefits of doing the actuarial maths to start with is that you can definitely do actuarial maths in years 3 and 4. If you start off doing the common entry where you're financial and actuarial, your grades do have to be above a certain amount. I think it is 60%. Basically, you have to showcase that you are strong enough to do the actuarial mathematics course in the final 2 years. No big deal. Years 1 and 2, pretty much the exact same courses are studied. Then in years 3 and 4, they separate, and I'll go through them now. I have stuff on the presentation to describe the difference there. Okay. So, what is actuarial maths? What is financial maths? So, being someone who worked with an actuarial firm, an insurance company for a year and a half, I tell you that as an actuary, you spend a good bit of your day working through complex spreadsheets, building models, and kind of analyzing data, looking for outliers, trying to be able to explain why like statistics and data is the way it is, being able to take something really complicated and break it down and explain it in layman's terms. It's modeling data. So if you're taking in, 50,000 policyholders' data between their age and their status, everything, a lot of different factors. If they, for example, life insurance, if they smoke or not, and if they have what sort of insurance they use right now, stuff like that. And you got, 50,000 people's data. You got to look at the different risks. We got to calculate their premiums. We got to make sure as a whole, we're all taking into account all the premiums and, all the risk factors that as our company, we're still profitable, and it makes sense to charge the premiums that we're charging, the percentage fees that we're charging. So you're dealing with an awful lot of big spreadsheets with, for example, like I was dealing with an Excel spreadsheet at Utmost where I work, and we had, 200 columns and, 70,000 rows. So you're talking massive spreadsheets, a lot of data at once, and you got to be able to explain data. What would you need to be good at actuarial or financial maths? So I would always say to people when they ask me, you got to love maths. You got to absolutely love maths because a lot of the course is just really tough maths. So you got to just love it. So what else as well as maths? If you're interested, there is different lanes, especially with the financial maths. If you like economics, if you like business, if you like investment banking, or, you've seen these sort of big office jobs in movies, that's the sort of financial side, where you're working with trading or you're working with banking. But the actuarial side is mainly, modeling and pricing, understanding what needs to be charged for a premium for an insurance and how we can still make a profit based off the risks, I guess, that we're taking on. So the difference here can be described as actuarial is long-term. Often we're predicting, 30 years into the future. Some people say, what's the difference between actuary and accounting? Maybe the answer could be like that accounting is kind of, understanding what happened in the past and being able to explain why, the expected versus the actual of what happened. Versus actuary then maybe is looking 30 years into the future rather than in the past, and then, predicting the trends with inflation and with these discount rates, so that you're taking in all the external factors and still trying to take the present value. So discounting it back to the current time now, is it going to be profitable and stuff like that. So both require a lot of maths foundations and a lot of modeling techniques that you learn through college. I'm going to pause, come back into the chat here, and double check everything's okay. So I'm coming back in here. Does anyone have any questions at this point? And if there's no questions, Rory, you can see everything there, no problem. You can hear me, no problem. Flicking through the slides, you're following the slides. Cool. Okay, looks like we've no questions. I don't see anyone typing, so I'm going to go straight back into it. Thanking you. So let's go again with that. Continue where we just left off. So yeah, if you're really good at maths, they say, I think the minimum grade required is H3, and I've seen some people come in with a H3 in maths who end up being top of the course. So, I would say you have to be exceptionally good at maths, and I'd be recommending trying to go for H1 or H2, and make sure you love maths, because most importantly, if you're going to be studying maths every day, you'd want to love it. I say it comes easy to you too. And for example, I would have got very high leaving cert mock in result in maths. So I kind of timed the CAO. I was like, hey, I got like 99 in the mock. I was like, hey, this is what I'm good at. I'll enjoy this. I enjoy maths. I said, hey, let's go for it. What am I saying here then as well? I guess I'm reading the PowerPoint here as well, but factors that come to mind would be, if you want a really well respected job where you can work some hours, say like a 9 to 6, a really good job to set you up for life with a good family and stuff like that. It's a well paid job in the long run, and you're working the standard hours in an office with your teammates around you, or a lot of it can be remote if that's what you prefer these days. And the good thing is it's standard hours. So if you want to have a family and things on in the evenings, you can get back around to that. For the first 3 years after college, first 3 to 5 years, I guess it depends how quick you get through them, you will be doing exams every 6 months. So life is a bit mad for the first few years, and just trying to build up your exams to become an actuarial fellow, which I will talk about later. But yeah, so if you're interested in maths, but you also basically, if you want to be like, if you love maths and you want to be doing maths for a good while, and you want a solid job to come out at the end of it, and you might want to be a lecturer or professor, this could be the perfect career for you here. If you want to use your maths talent to set you apart, and pretty much what I've said there, yeah. Okay, so in first year, both courses do the same, actuarial and the actuarial and financial common entry. So these are some of the courses that you do in first year. You do a bit of an introduction to the computer programming. Then you do a bit of economics, just touching the surface with supply and demand and stuff like that. And then I guess you're doing the basics of what the next 4 years will be involved in maths. So it's a big change from leaving cert. It's completely new things. You're talking vectors, and probability gets a lot more theoretical and deep. And analysis is learning all the notation. Calculus will not necessarily just be the leaving cert differentiation and stuff. It'll go on further. But hey, if you love maths, you'll be up for the challenge and you're willing to put in the work, you'll enjoy it. It's rewarding. Time check, we're at 10 past. I'll start flying through it a bit quicker. Here are some of the modules in second year. You do a bit of accounting too. Again, you're normally just progressing on. So calculus, probability, statistics, financial maths, these are common throughout all the years, but you're just getting progressively more complex module as it goes on. And now, third and fourth year is where you have to decide if you want to go actuarial, pure actuarial, or if you want to go into financial maths. So actuarial is gearing you towards getting the 6 exemptions. So there's 13 total exams to be a fellow actuary, and 6 can come from doing the actuarial maths degree. If you score above, they say it's above 60, but it ranges from 60 to 65% every year. So I always say, hey, aim for as close to 70% average. Say 65% average gets you all the exemptions, all 6 exemptions, and then you only have 7 exams left to do after college. And it's a lot of modeling, and especially in final year, it becomes more applied to the real life situations. So financial economics, life contingencies, like modeling the chance. Basically, yeah. In life insurance, where I was, the premiums that you have to charge for someone's probability of dying. Financial maths is if you do not probably want to be an actuary. then it's quite a good option because you could go into lecturing, professor. You could go investment banking, trading, and a lot of different things. You could do research and finance. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I was a slide ahead. Here are a lot of the different options here of future jobs. So actually, trading, financial, yeah, investments, banking. Okay, so why would you choose this? You do get the choice at the end of the second year which one. It's lower points in the CEO, which is the main, kind of attractive feature. The first 2 years are the exact same, pretty much. So you don't have to worry if you don't get the points for the actuary, but you want to do actuary, just get above 60% in years 1 and 2, and you can cross over. Um, Pretty much, yeah. That would be the main reason because they're very similar. If you're so set on being actuary, I'd say you might as well just go with actuary from the start because then you're guaranteed to do it in years 3 and 4. Ultimately, if you want to be doing actuary, you should be aiming for above 60% anyway. Okay, so I worked for, I think it was 8 months with Utmost in Dublin, and there is a good chance of getting a job after, which I did. So I worked all through final year as well, 1 or 2 days a week, and I had a job offer for when I graduated college, but I chose to go to America instead. But I love the team. Shout out to my team at Utmost; they were great. So yeah, you do 8 months full time work, and you get paid quite well. Probably a little bit more than minimum wage, but I mean, you have to remember you're still a student, so it's great. You're getting great work experience. You're, an intern in a team and learning, and you get really good at the coding languages that they use at the firm. For example, I use VBA, Excel, SQL, so I learned a lot about these languages. I don't see my company name there, but I was with Utmost, but there's a few examples of insurance firms there. Yes, I was talking about this already. We can get the 6 core principles as an exemption once you score above greater than 65% is what I would say there. But look, anything between 60 to 65 every year changes, but you just got to do well, basically. If you keep if you get a first class honors, you'll get all of them. Time check. All right, 3 minutes left to fly through as much as I can. Here's 2 examples of brilliant stories. These 2 girls actually only got a H3 in their leaving certs, but ended up coming top of the course, both of them. So fair play to them, Elena and Olivia. I would say this course isn't suited for all H3 mathematics students. I do think you have to absolutely love maths and be quite exceptional at it. Perhaps they could have scored a higher grade on the day if that had went well for them because these 2 are maths geniuses. So I would be wary of, if you're not a big fan and lover of maths, it might be really difficult because you do an awful lot of intense maths. But if you do love maths and you like the challenge, it's so rewarding and such a good challenge for people. Yes, so she did. Elena, for example, here she did start in the financial maths, but she came across into the actuarial path then because she scored above 60 in years 1 and 2. So why would you study it? You love maths, you get into a really good job, and yeah, pretty much it's really rewarding. Anytime you tell anyone you did actual maths, they're like, "Whoa, you must be a genius." So final words. Yeah, anyone questions? These are the professors, 2 Doctor of Maths email addresses here. I'll hold it for a second here to let you take them down if you want. I'm actually going to drop my own email into the chat at the end where I'll take questions. So if you want to hang on at the end, I'll take my own details. And I only put this together really quick. Coming from the actuarial maths, wouldn't have been possible without doing such a rigorous and tough course. I ended up getting a bit about me. I got a full scholarship to America this year, so I'm studying over in Notre Dame right now. I have a maths startup. I'm teaching maths via mobile phone app, so I can drop the link in the chat after. And I'd love to hear some people's thoughts. I'm talking to a bunch of maths heads here, so I'd love to hear what you think about it. I got involved in the DCU gas, boxing, football, you name it. I got involved in the societies. Life's great at DCU. I'm going to come back to chat just for the time wise, and I'm going to take questions, but I'll happily talk a bit about my experience at DCU then. So, coming back in now. Okay, so do we have people that are still with me here? If anyone wants to drop in a little, into the chat, I would love to take some questions. Here, I can, stay another 10 minutes. So, anything I didn't cover, anything that's unclear, hit me up with a question. Is anyone still here? I'll just wait looking at the chat here. I'm gonna put in. Oh, thank you. I see. Hey, Laura and Alan, thank you very much. I see you guys typing. Thank you very much for listening ahead. Um, wishing all you guys very well with your applications in the CAO and stuff. Definitely hit me up with as much questions as you want. So DCAR5. I'm gonna shout out the Instagram or the TikTok of the startup I have, and I would love to hear your thoughts because you're maths heads. Pi Squared is the mobile app. It's coming soon to the app stores. I can give you a private link to the beta version of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it too. You can connect with me there now on Instagram, on email. Any questions after this, if you haven't came with them, thought of them just yet, if you think of them in the future, email me, follow the Instagram page, and message it. Say, hey, cool app, but I'm no interested in the app. I want to learn a bit more about DCU. Hit me up with questions, and I'll answer them. Thoughts on DCU? Great social life. Yeah, great sports teams. So I love sport. Great trips. I went skiing and I went on the surfing trip with DCU. Great people. The actuary maths professors are a really nice bunch. We're a really tight knit class. There's about 80 people in the class. The dropout can be high. Sometimes, you see 20 people dropping out in first year because it's tough. So just be ready for a tough challenge. But no, we become really close as a class then going forward. I think the two girls were just typing to let me know you're still here. And I hope I didn't cut across if you were typing a question. Definitely, I'll shut up talking for a minute there. I'd love to hear a few questions. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Do you have to start your own workspace? Thanks for the question, Ellen. So there's a thing called Intra. Apologies, I didn't touch on it earlier. I love these emojis your faces have, by the way. Unibuddy is cool. You all have a little smiley face beside your names. So yes, you do have to sort your own workspace, but DCU help you with it. So there's actually a list of companies. No, you basically submit your CV, and it's kind of like speed dating in a way. So there's going to be, say if there's 50 people in your class, there's 50 companies, and everyone gets paired with a company. So like, it's not like, so probably I answered that wrong. Maybe you don't have to sort it yourself. You submit your CV, an essay maybe about what you want to get out of the year, what sort of person you are and stuff like that. And they will pick you for an interview. So you just submit it all to a platform. DCU will then send it to all the employers, the 50 employers. They'll kind of like speed date through a few, interview a few, and but the situation is once someone hires you, so once someone says, "Hey, I'd like to hire Ellen," Ellen, you have to work for that company. I think. I think you in the speed dating. I think you put down your favorite five, maybe, of the 50 companies, and then if you put, you know, as soon as you start taking interviews or putting down your favorite places to work, and if they interview you and if they like it, then that's a match made. Because basically, there's 50 students, 50 companies, and they just work through matching. It's like a matching process, yeah. So if I were you, to be, you know, popular choice, I'd just try to score well in your exams. I think I was averaging above 70 in second year, so I got my favorite. If you do want to sort it yourself, you can sort it yourself. Um, that's no bother. Say if you know someone who works in an insurance company, that's also totally cool. You don't have to go with the intro ones, but it's not stressful at all. It was a good process, yeah. Yeah, cool. Any other thoughts? I guess everyone here is sixth year, so wishing you all the best of luck with your mocks that I imagine are probably coming up soon. Give it your best shot. Don't be too worried if it's if they're difficult, or if your overall points are 450 now and you need it to get to 550 to get actuary maths. You've 6 months to keep learning more. So don't be panicking. And also hopefully they grade the final exams a little bit easier. Hopefully in the summer with the bell curve and that. But hey, I hope I'm not boring you to death here. I hope it's been helpful. I do recommend the course. I think it's great. It set me up really well. I'm now in America studying technology and entrepreneurship. I didn't want to do the 3 more years of exams, to be honest. I might go back to it at some stage, but I wanted to break away from all that. It was a tough 4 years in terms of study. I did a good bit of study. So I wanted to get a master's in something different. Might move away from actuary altogether. That's why I'm doing my little startup, maths app. But yeah, really grateful for everything I learned. Some seriously good problem solving skills, and worked with some. You're surrounded by really clever people. Yeah, I'm kind of just chatting away here until people ask more questions. So if anyone, wants to go. If anyone has more questions, just keep firing them my way. I'll stay here until people say goodbye. Um, yeah. Can you go from the act? Great question. So yeah, I don't know why it's not mentioned in the presentation. I'm sure you can. Most people that choose actuary from the start just want to do actuary. It's a good question. I mean, I'd say it would be no problem because actuary is the higher CAO points. It's probably so like you have to get above 60 to get into actuary. You don't have to get above 60 to go into the financial maths. So I would say they would have no problem with that at all. I would say, does anyone do it? Some people probably have done it, and I just don't know about it. But yeah, no, it should be no problem because normally you need higher grades to get into the actuary in years 3 and 4, so it should be no problem to go the other way. But I might actually not. I might put in a Martin Venker's email just to double check. One of the instructors of the course, he's a doctor in maths there, so this be one of my old lecturers. I might just, if you want to, just pop him an email, and I imagine that's his email address. Kind of just put his name down, but I think that's it. It could be it's a great question. Great question. Apologies on my slideshow. I know I didn't have the arrow going that way, so not sure. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. I will wrap it up there. I don't see anyone typing. I could be in a room here on my own. So I appreciate everyone listening in, and I wish you all the best with your CAO, your mocks, your leaving cert, your exams. Don't define you. So if you don't get the points for the actual maths at the end, don't be too harsh on yourself. Everything works out for a reason. Whatever course you get into, it'll be good, and you'll do good. And wishing you all the best. And hopefully that was somewhat helpful. And take care.